What up, my family and friends? You know who it be. It's the babbling baby boomer, Mikey Woo Woo. Oh, man. Despite the fact that it rained all day, I'm sitting there looking at my fish tank. Despite the fact that it rained all day today, it was a beautiful day. Got a lot of things done around the house. Been reading a lot about addiction, been reading, came to believe, been reading, trying to get my read on. I'm in this thing called recovery. Well, I'm not actually in it. I practice this thing called recovery. And there's a big difference, huge difference from being in it and practicing it. And hopefully, by the end of this video, I'll be able to explain to you the difference between being in it and actually practicing it. Yeah, because there's a huge difference. One, it's just a huge difference. Oh, excuse me, I just finished eating dinner. But I thought to myself as I was sitting here reading the steps, and I am a grateful, and I mean a truly grateful, recovering screw up. I don't even think I consider myself recovering anymore, because there does come a time when recovery is possible, meaning you've recovered. Still might have those characteristics, still might have those behavioral traits, but the desire is no longer there. Instead, it's been replaced by a desire to live, a desire for knowledge. It's been replaced by a desire instead of a death sentence. But I was thinking tonight as I was reading over the steps, I just cleaned this fish tank. Love it. It's gorgeous. I gave them little puppies something, nice little home. But nonetheless, I was thinking tonight, what one of the steps was the most difficult for me? Step one was humiliating. That was humiliating, especially as a man. As a man. Tools. One of those kind of guys. I actually had to admit that my life had become unmanageable. That I was powerless over the crap that was going on in my life. That was humiliating. No man on the face of this earth, I think, wants to ever... I actually don't think any person on the face of this earth wants to admit that they've taken themselves to a point in which they honestly and truly have to admit, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that their life is unmanageable because of the decisions that they've made, the things that they've done. It's crazy. That was humiliating for me, especially as a man. But I did get past it. I got past it in many ways. This program of recovery calls for absolute honesty, absolute, it's a program of absolutes. And I took that, I think maybe in some instances to an extreme. And I had to, because my life was at risk. Step two was cool, that I came to believe that a power greater than myself could restore my life to some semblance of sanity. Mind you, that's not what the step really reads, but that's what it reads to me. That one really didn't bother me so much because I had already had a faith in God. I just didn't know why him and I wasn't on the same page. I believed in him wholeheartedly. But why did I have to take step one? Because, we're cool. We're on the same page, I believe. And then came step 3. That was a hard one. That's a hard one. And that's a hard one that is rooted deep in the early Christian church. See, step 3 says that we submit our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. And in Christianity, you do the same thing. You turn your will and your life over to the care of God. You repent, you turn away from those sins, and you move forward, trusting all the while that He'll lead your footsteps. So that one was kind of hard. I didn't want to just submit my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood Him, because the God that I understood knew I was a sinner. Woo! So he knew I was a cut-up. I was an egomaniac. I'm about a me, I, thee, be, thee, this, that. But see, when you submit your life and your will over to the care of God, it's no longer about you. It's no longer about I, me. In the 12-step program, in any one of the 12 steps, in either one of the programs, NA or AA, you will never find the word I. Always we or us. No I. And people that take credit for their own recovery never made it past step 2. Maybe even step 1. Recovery's a journey of humility. And you don't go boosting about it until you've actually have some concrete evidence under your foots, or under your feet, under your feet, that you are standing on solid ground. Memorial Day 2017 was the last day that I actually picked up a bottle of bourbon. Period. It was a divorce that I couldn't be more grateful for today. Woo! Because me and bourbon had a love affair, I'm telling you now. I had my choice of any other alcohol. Tequila, Wild Turkey, Jack Daniel. I liked them all. But my number one love was that damn bourbon. Woo! Boy. So Memorial Day 2017 was my last day, of which I was forcibly divorced. And when I look back over those years, I can see the struggles that I went through, with step 1, step 2, and especially step 3. Because step 3 meant that I had to take me out of the equation. I couldn't brag about being sober anymore. I couldn't tell oh yeah, I got 455 days clean. Oh yeah. Me. No. If I tell someone I'm sober today, it is, the very next thing I say is, it's but by God's grace and mercy that I'm sober. Because if I was still driving the bus, I'd be drunk. It is but by His grace and mercy that I'm sober today. And it kills me when I see people taking credit for their own recovery, because it only shows me, and it's further evidence that those 12 steps work. That somewhere along the line, in the minds of these individuals that are still taking credit for their own recovery, shows me the insanity of addiction. It's only evidence that there are dry highs, dry drunks. You know, these people that are high on themselves. And that kills me. Because I wasn't in the first, I want to say within the first year, maybe year and a half, 2 years of my recovery. No, sir, you would not have seen me posting videos or pictures or proclaiming my sobriety to the world, because I was humiliated. I was humbled by the fact that I was struggling against my damn self. Period. My own decisions. All that bull crap about... now, I do firmly believe that there is some ties to addiction and genetics. But I am a wholehearted and absolute believer that addiction has more to do with decisions than it does genetics. In the same way that it takes us to make a decision to wholeheartedly follow those steps, the way those steps are meant to be followed, or at least to give it our the best try we can. But if we're not willing to really follow the steps that those steps are meant to be followed, the way they're meant to be followed, then I don't think we should be out there portraying that we're sober when everyone else around us knows we're only a dry drunk or a dry high. You know, in this whole sobriety thing, that it comes to a term whenever there is a spiritual awakening in a human being. I think my spiritual awakening came at the very moment I accepted step one. I was a control freak. Everything about my life had to be controlled. So whenever I actually had to take step one, that was an end of it right there. That was my spiritual awakening. That was my wake-up call. That I, as a grown-ass man, couldn't keep control of my own life over something like something they make in a bottle. Come on. Come on. So, as a man in recovery, when I see people taking credit for their own recovery, I could only pray for them. I've seen men and women like that during my time at, I've been at the Gateway Rehabilitation Center in Aliquippa, Hopewell Township, PA. I've been at the Maria House Project, and there's been a couple of times whenever I can look at a man and actually say whether or not he's going to survive, or maybe how long he might survive outside of the program, or why he's seeking refuge in the program. Earlier I said something about being in the program and living the program. And there is a difference. And in the next video, I will discuss living it and being in it. Because one's being shielded, protected, coddled. And the other one is taking risks, living life the way life was meant to live, as Christ destined it to be lived. Yes, sir. You know who it be. It's the Babbling Baby Boomer, Mikey Woo. I love you guys. And for all of those that are out there struggling, no, you're not alone. Not alone at all. Not at all. Not one bit whatsoever. But know this. Addiction, no matter what form it might be in, gambling, porn, alcohol, drugs, doesn't matter what it is in. It's cunning, it's powerful, and it is ever so damn baffling. So my friend, if you're lost in the dark, don't be afraid to reach out. I'll try to help you. If I can't help you, hopefully I can point you in the direction of where you can get some help. But until then, my friend, know that I feel your struggle. I do. Because I've been there. Without a doubt. I love you guys, and remember, always, always, always stay kind. For real. Doesn't cost anything to be kind. We exert more energy being ugly and hateful towards people than it is to simply be kind. And just think, your kindness might stop someone from committing suicide today, or murder, or snapping, or going off, or relapsing. So be kind. Love you guys. Until next time, you know it would be the babbling baby boomer, Mikey Woo Woo.